This story comes from the pages of Venom War Wolverine issue number 1. Please support the official release. The story opens in a bar in the middle of Manhattan, where we see a group of men playing pool. Getting a little too into the game, one of the men mistakenly shot one of the balls right into a patron's face. Not even checking to see if the guy was okay, the player rudely told the man he was in the way, where we see this wasn't just any guy, but rather it was the famed and feared X-Man, the Wolverine, who was not too keen on the disrespectful youth's attitude. With the whole bar and this guy looking on in horror at the mutant, we see Logan smile and tip his hat at the kid, telling him to relax, saying that he was not the violent, bloodthirsty brawler that he once was. Breathing a sigh of relief that he didn't come home in a body bag, the man called to one of his homies to fanboy out on how he just met one of the X-Men, where he noticed bizarre noises coming from the bar's air ducts. Thinking that the ducts must have been clogged for the moment, the man continued his conversation, where we would see that they were indeed clogged. However, this wasn't just your typical dust or mold buildup. This was a twisted, mutated, and vengeful symbiote which pressed its way through the ducts and slammed the young man into the wall, where it made its way upon him. With things cutting back to the bar, we would see the patron's attention turn to one of the women who was watching the news on her phone, which cut to a breaking news story of more of these symbiote-like webs enveloping large parts of the city. Wondering just what Spider-Man had gotten himself into, Logan felt multiple balls hit him from behind. Slightly more aggravated this time, Logan, thinking this was the same kid from before, threatened to bring out a taste of the old Wolverine, where we would see that not all was right, for the youth had been mutated by the symbiote, turning him into a zombie-like creature, where he was accompanied by what appeared to be a venomized human corpse. Unnerved by this ghastly sight, Wolverine engaged the duo, who viciously attacked him and the bar goers. Stabbing the corpse creature with one of the pool cues, Logan told the people to run, where he proceeded to beat the monster down with a stick, all while trying to talk some sense into the venomized man from before. He then tells the youth that this corpse had been dead for at least a week before being possessed, but he was still alive, and there was still time to save him. Reaching out his hand to help, it would appear Logan may have broken through to this man, where we had realized this was false, as the symbiote leapt upon him, where it attempted to consume our hero. Lifting the monster into the air, Wolverine tapped into his animalistic rage, where he slammed it upon the broken pool cue, taking it out of commission. At least, for now. With the bartender asking if Wolverine was alright, we would see the mutant was far from okay, as the symbiote-infected black blood had splashed upon his face, where it soon infected him, spreading across his entire body. Telling the woman he had been taken over by a symbiote before, this time it was different. It was darker, and somehow more chaotic than it ever had been. Beyond his control, Logan activated his claws, where he transformed into a nightmarish zombie-like creature, where he went to attack the horrified woman. Managing to gain just enough control of his body back, the zombiote Wolverine tossed himself through the bar window and into the streets, where the citizens looked on in terror at this mutated monstrosity that was once this famed hero. Frantically making his way to his motorcycle, Wolverine sped away to avoid hurting others, where he once again remarked how this symbiote was different from the others. Unlike symbiotes like Venom, this one had been dead before, and was in a space between life and death. Getting torn between his most painful memories, one that Logan locked onto was that of a mysterious and frightened mother and child. Blacking out, we would see Wolverine's unconscious body be discovered by a young boy in a mysterious snow-covered town. As Logan would come to, we'd find out that this boy was named Flynn, and his mother was instantly recognized by the X-Man as Emily, remembering her as the woman from his dream. In a flashback, we'd come to see that Wolverine had met this pair years ago, where he was staying at the snowy lodge and overheard an argument from Emily's husband at the time, who was yelling at the woman on how to raise their son as a real man. Verbally berating his own wife and child, the man was calmly approached by Wolverine, who told him to stand down, where of course he wouldn't listen, and went to show his family how a real man acts, and went to fight the guy, only for Wolverine to slice his fingers off. Seemingly having a head thicker than actual adamantium, this guy, still not getting it, went to attack the mutant, only for him to give him his much-needed comeuppance by slicing his hand clean off. Before he could finish the job, Logan was then stopped by Emily, pleading for her husband's life. Cutting back to present day, we'd see the rather ferocious Short King Wolverine snuggled up in a blankie by the fire, where Emily would bring him a bowl of soup, saying that she thought she would never see him again. Logan then informed her he had no idea how he even came here, and the last thing he could remember was fighting off the infection. Flynn, not fully trusting Logan after, slicing off his dad's hand, told him that one of the men in the town had seen him throwing up streams of disgusting black liquid all over the grounds of the town cemetery. Emily then told Flynn to go to his room and give Logan space to rest, where he agreed, but not before saying that the man reeked of BO. That's not the first person to say that. Do healing factors just not vibe with showers, or is Wolverine just a funky little fur man? Asking if Flynn was alright, Emily informed Wolverine that he was good, and hadn't turned out like his father, who was still alive, but hadn't bothered them since the day Logan stepped in. Hearing radio reports of the symbiote-infected zombies in New York, Emily asked Logan if he should be there helping others, where the man told her that he was a liability, and if he were to be infected again, he would do more harm than good, and would stay away until this was all over. Emily, seemingly being quite pleased that this hunky, hairy muscle man was staying for the winter, told him that he came to the right place, where we would see that not all was at peace, as things would cut to the village cemetery, as we'd see the corpses coming to life, crawling out of their frozen graves. These symbiote-possessed dead bodies would then make their way to what appeared to be Emily's abusive ex-husband, who seemed all too welcome to these undead invaders, to infecting him as well.